Hey YouTube, my name is Nick James and I'm going to be teaching you guitar. Are you looking for the best way to practice your triads? Then this lesson's for you. We're going to be talking about playing the 1, 4, 5 chord progression using triads. And this will be a really great help for not only building your vocabulary for soloing, but also just make practicing a little bit more interesting. So what we're going to do is break down the triads in the C major scale. So we're only going to use the 1, 4, and 5, which is C, F, and G. And what we're going to do is play the 1, 4, 5 up the neck using only 3 strings, so using only triads. But we're going to basically do this on every set of 3 strings and be able to play every single triad. But by doing it in this 1, 4, 5 kind of way, you're starting to, see the chord changes with these triads. So that way when you're soloing over a chord progression, it's easy to plug in the 1 chord or the 4 chord or 5 chord when you go to improvise. So the first triad we're looking at comes right out of this open C. It's just the bottom 3 strings. G, C, and E. So what we're going to do from there is try to find our F triad, which actually has a C in it. It also has an A in it, and then lastly an F. So this is actually called a first inversion F triad because it starts with the 3rd on top, A. 3, 5, 1, A, C, F. So that's our F. And the great thing is when we go to play the 5 chord, it's a whole step up from the 4 chord. So what that means is it's 2 frets up. And then we've got our G. Same shape as the F, just 2 frets up. So we have 1, 4, 5. Now the 1 for C is right here, really close to the G major triad. So this C triad is a proper major triad with C on top, then the 3rd E, and then the 5th G. We can see that it shares that G note, so we don't even have to touch that. We can keep that there. And we just have to add our ring finger and pinky finger on the 5th fret of the G and B string. And that gives us our C major triad. So we're going to keep doing this up the neck where F is now in this D shape. So we keep the C note there, then we have F and A. And this D shape is the 2nd inversion for F because the 5th is on top C. And then G again is just 2 frets up. So if we start from the beginning, we have 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. The next shape for C is right out of this E chord. And if you miss the shape it comes out of for the C down here, it comes right out of the A shape. So back up here, we're looking at C major right out of this E shape. And it's just this bottom chunk. So we have E, G, and C. So that's the first inversion because it starts with the 3rd E on top. And the next closest F triad is right here out of the A shape. And then like we know, moving up to G is just 2 frets up. And then before we know it, we're all the way back to the same C that we started with. And the great thing is you can do this on every 3 sets of strings. So what you've essentially done there is played all 3 inversions of the 1, 4, 5 chords in C major. You could do that same thing moving to the next set of 3 strings. This comes out of the C shape again. So we're just going to be playing the 3rd, E, open G, the 5th, and C with our pointer finger. And then the next, triad or F triad is going to be right on top. So we're moving E up 1 fret to be hitting F on the 3rd fret of the D string. And then we have that kind of proper triad where it's 1, 3, 5. So F, A, and C. And it looks like a little staircase. So moving that up 2 frets gives us G. So we have 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5. Back to 1. And we'll keep going, just to kind of hit all sets of 3 strings. So if we moved up to the A, D, and G string, it's kind of the top part of our C major chord, but we're only playing the A string, which is on the 3rd fret C note, the E note on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then open G. So where we could find our F triad is right out of the E shape. It's just right here. So if we moved our E, open E major up just 1 fret, that's F major. Do the same thing, move it up 2 frets, G major. So we have 1, 4, 5. Then the next triad we're going to find for C is right here out of the G shape, but it's starting on the 3rd of the chord, so that's the 1st inversion of the C major triad again. It starts on the E note, so that's the 7th fret of the A string. So you got 7th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the D, 5th fret of the G. So that gives us the E note, G note, and C note, 3, 5, 1. And then the next place we're going to find our F triad is right out of that C-shaped F chord. F, A, C, 1, 3, 5. And then move that up 2 frets, we have G. So just starting over again here, we got 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, and then back to our first shape. The last set of strings here, so we'll see that the C major has a triad right here. F has a triad that starts on the A note, so that's the 1st inversion of F because it's starting on the 3rd. So we have A, then we have C, and then F. So we have 1, 4, 5. Then we have 1 coming out of this G shape for C. Then we have the F triad here. And this is the second inversion because it starts on the C note, which is the 5th. And then we have 2 frets up G major. And then the last triad here is C, starting on the E note, so the 12th fret of the low E string. We have E, then we have G on the 10th fret of the A string. Then we have on the 10th fret of the G string, or the D string, we have C. And then just, stretching my fingers a little bit, we have the F and the G shape, and then moving that up, we have G, and then back to the C. And that covers every 1, 4, 5 triad on every set of 3 strings. So hopefully you're able to take this exercise and start to play around with it. It offers you a lot to be able to see the chord changes, and makes it a little bit more musical rather than practicing the same triad shape. Gives you the ability to plug in those 1, 4, and 5 chords to now start to see the guitar in a totally different way. I hope you get a lot out of this video, and if you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe and share them with anybody else that wants to learn guitar. And thanks for watching, and have a nice weekend.